the support most likely, I'd say, for Puppy. I was actually thinking maybe he wants to go for like an Enigma because of how good Enigma does against the all melee lineups. But Earthshaker Fissure is a great way of dealing with just early game over-aggression. And EG going to have to be worrying about that Fissure coming out anytime they look to start diving towers.
EG working on their final ban. They'll most likely be looking to ban a carry here. Probably a safe lane hero. Gyro, CK, maybe Tiny, your likely targets. And they go for the most versatile of those three. It is the Gyro.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't think CK does great against this kind of melee-centric lineup. I think they're better off getting a ranged carry, or if they go for something melee. Maybe they even run Razor with the Wisp and get a mid-hero for Dendy still. So Dendy very versatile, definitely can play Razor, but Na'Vi, if they want to put Razor in their trialing, can do so.
Yeah, I guess if you want a Dendy hero, there is Puck in the pool, Queen of Pain, but that's pretty... And Storm. Storm's the other big one, but it's not... It's a bit awkward against the CG lineup, and all three of those fairly weak against Nyx, and even Bounty Hunter, just two heroes that can surprise you and suddenly blow you up, so... Well, guys, we'll have to see. There's Shadow Fiend as well, but
they want something
EG are just really good at punishing the Shadow Fiend. Dragon Knight's the other option.
Oh, it's the Fog Witchstock there. I've seen a couple of this from EG as of late.
Yeah, he had some pretty decent ults, but wasn't enough to take that series versus Na'Vi.
The other, if Na'Vi do want to do the safe lane Razor, I think that's not bad. Is that something standard, like a Dragon Knight? They're good Juggernaut,
yeah, that's what I was just saying. But yeah, Juggernaut.
Okay.
Okay, so safe lane Juggernaut for Demon. And then a Dendy Razor mid?
Yeah, it looks like we will have that kind of... If they go with Demon on the carry role.
No,
he's an Earthshaker.
Relegated to support. No carry for Demon.
Kuroki gets to go carry here. He's going to be on the Juggernaut.
Well, Juggernaut's... Why do you think they go Juggernaut here?
The Magic community helps a bit in the early game if they're being aggressive, but it's not really a carry hero that matches up the longer this game goes, so...
He just doesn't match up well in general against Lifestealer, Troll, or even Bounty Hunter.
Yeah.
Such high physical damage output that even when you're Blade Fury, they just right-click you, and they don't particularly care about that.
Yeah, I'm wondering, I mean, did Na'Vi even consider an offensive trial in here of sorts? They could do so. But...
And they could get Funnick a safe lane solo versus Bounty Hunter. He'd do well there.
Yeah.
But their tri lane would be decent, but it looks like we see Puppy heading top. So, well, we'll introduce our teams now. We'll start with Team Evil Geniuses, Team America, captained by Captain America. His name is Fear. Jayo going to be playing your farming lifesteal in the tri-lane. MSS, rising star of this team. He'll be on your solo mid-troll. Boots first build for him. Fog going to be playing the Witch Doctor, and then towards the off-lane goes Universe on your Bounty Hunter.
Well, for Na'Vi, they're now starting off their best of 5 after losing a best of 3 series to Liquid. It's going to be Funnick playing the off-lane Timbersaw. At the top lane, we're going to see Puppy on the Wisp. We've got Kuroki playing a carry Juggernaut. Demon, the standard, the former EG player himself, now on the Earthshaker. And then finally, middle lane going to be Dendy. Boots first as well. This is where you see, well, both these mid-heroes getting Boots first because of how well Static Link can just harass and just cause problems for opposing mid-heroes. So MSS getting Boots in preparation for the Razor.
Yeah, Boots for both of them. A match with the Razor should probably have a slight edge in, but Troll still always able to farm with his axes no matter how much damage he's lost. And with that blind, which you're probably it's gonna hit you if you're staying in Static Link range, and realistically, you might not get the auto attacks off. So I actually feel Troll's gonna do better than what you might initially think of this match.
Yes, especially if he gets the first creep wave or two may be tough, but once he's got his bottle up and starts bottle crowing, it gets a lot easier, and he should come out pretty fine against a Razor.
MSS getting off a decent block here, Dendy too as well. So looking at the off lane for Universe, does Na'Vi have Dusk prepared for him? They do have a single sentry. They're already expecting a body block on the camp, but
they saw
Universe. Is he going to go for a body block?
They saw the Invis Ring pick up, and it looks like they want to not even worry about wards here. I think they just want to make sure Universe doesn't body block the camp, and they actually Wisp and Earthshaker tethered together. I think they were trying to cut down some trees, but failed to do so.
Well, we'll see if they do better on round 2. Your off lane Timbersaw should do okay initially. Witch Doctor has pretty good base damage, but he's just so squishy that he's got to be careful about not running into the Timbersaw, taking some right-click and just nuke damage. And, well, later on, I think they have what it takes to kill the Timbersaw.
Yeah, right off the bat, we're going to see EG just go for a standard pull here. They'll look to double pull this and link it on through. Whereas Na'Vi, they're going to just do a standard little stack here and pull a bit later on.
Wow, beautiful control from Dendy. He runs exactly like so. Doesn't ever actually go in tower range, but manages to steal a good 20 damage from MSS.
MSS still gets the last hit, though.
Yeah, he's still got Whirling Axes is the issue. In fact, he could even go back in on Dendy despite that.
He gets 2 last hits with this, 40 damage of his, which is Make
Which
it
is just Troll also having great damage as well.
A bit of, just luck as well. You have to hope the tower hits aren't doing too much. Dendy, tower's on him. He's trying to static leap, but takes a lot of damage.
He thought the tower was going to hit this creep in the middle, but it ends up just going straight onto him, and that really cost him. He's probably, in fact, rotation from Demon. He's already headed bottom. Ancients are worried. He wants to do some Ancient pulling with Fissure, but the EG are already on top of this. Nope, he just wants to hang out bottom. Okay.
Maybe expecting a dive here, and if they do dive Funnick, a Fissure under the tower could spell problems for EG here.
They do have an Observer Ward towards the bottom rune, but they don't see him rotating because he didn't come through the river. He came down the lane. So they don't know
sentries. So it looks like they're going to try and de-ward the Ancients, maybe. Well, there's sentries on the courier.
Oh, so you're going to take them.
Demon. There we go. That courier was just hugging him for a long, long time. So he's going to look to de-ward the Ancients here and try to do some Ancients.
Weasel Crows do not traditionally get along very well with good Americans. So there you go.
There we go.
As for Funnick, he's getting his levels now.
He is rotated. He's found Demon here, and Demon going to get pushed out of the lane. The Elusive here, Demon not going to get fully surrounded. Nice Fissure blocks up the chase.
I think you might be giving up first blood here.
There's no boots.
No boots, actually. There's another Impale, though. But where's the rotation from Dendy? Dendy can turn this around if he comes. Impale's going to come through. Open Wound's now deployed, but Dendy's going to be right in. He might get a counter kill at least. But first blood will go to EG. Demon dies to his former teammates. However, Dendy doing all kinds of damage. Fear still clarity enough. But look at the right clicks from Dendy. Oh no, he gets impaled. This is going for bad to worse. The Fissure comes in. Demon just respawn. And Dendy can do nothing but retreat despite having 170 damage.
Yeah, I think he needs to rotate a little bit earlier there. It was creeps under his tower, which I think he just didn't want to leave there. But he could have almost kept Demon alive and turned that around. He could have gotten
a double kill, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, well, just that stand-in factor may be coming into play here, where they're just not quite on the same page is where you want them to be.
Well, for the time being, it is going to be Na'Vi giving up first blood. So EG strike first and get a kill just on the Earthshaker there, but they also waste a lot of Dendy's time. Dendy not lasting well. He's behind the Troll wall in the mid lane, so I think MSS is just going to flat out win this lane now as a result.
Yeah, as a result, it's still a matchup where they can both look to just kind of CS and bottle Crow a bit, but Dendy going for no points in Plasma Field, so he'll be at a disadvantage there. MSS aggressively diving. There's a Fissure, but he's just not worried about them going on him.
Yeah, and Demon once again rotating through the middle lane, looking to provide some backup for Dendy, but I think he realizes there's not a whole lot he can do, and he's actually looking just to go back towards his top lane where Universe is being annoying. Puppy's pulling and stuff, but Universe on the bounty hunter is stealing a lot of these last hits.
There's not much a Wisp can do by herself against this. You need your allies to be here. Kuroki is going to find him. There's your Tether Stun. Dust deployed. Universe has been trapped, but he's actually out of Blade Fury range. Oh no! The Ursa thought it might steal the kill there with the clap, but
Kuroki got the Ursa kill and the hero kill there, so that was a good chunk of gold going his way. He's also farming up to 20 CS, so Juggernaut doing well, but this is not really like your true late game carry that's going to match up well against EG's lineup. So I feel like EG against Na'Vi's lineup. I feel like they need more than just Juggernaut doing well. They need Razor off to a good start, and Dendy just has not had that.
So keeping an eye on Fogs here on his Witch Doctor. Last time we saw him, he went for quite a few points in Maledict, skipped the heal, and they were running like a pushing lineup. But this time around, he takes stats, he skips Maledict, with much more of a hero killing lineup. Kind of an unusual way to build the hero, but he'll have those extra stats. He throws out yet another cast, bouncy to Funnick to and fro. The open wounds has already been used, but Funnick, he'll just turn around and right click and doesn't even care. That's a life stealer hitting you under your tower, and he's shrugging it off.
Yeah, life stealer with phase boost here. Funnick going to salve himself up. Does want to just stay in this experience range. He's getting a decent amount of XP out of it.
Meanwhile, there was a rotation mid. Fear came mid, and just keeping Dendy totally out of lane. Dendy now is the target of some hate from the enemy team, and this is what the EG can afford to do, because they're getting good levels on their supports in the safe lane already from the kills. They're getting good levels on Universe in the off lane, and the bottom safe lane farm is secure for Jo, so their supports are free to go pressure Dendy and shut him down.
Yeah, and Puppy getting a decent amount of levels, still not that close to his level 6, but we're very early into the game. He's got another dust, so I think they'll look to kill the bounty hunter again soon, especially considering Kuroki is level 6, has Omni Slash, so either with a Blade Fury or an Omni Slash, bounty hunter should be a pretty easy kill for them if he comes out in this lane.
Meanwhile, the double pull being attempted here, and it will just barely succeed.
Funny.
The Centaur
that is not where you want a Timber Chain to.
Oh no. Gets caught out in the jungle, but a Timber Chain back the other way. Can he run far enough? The phase boots are going to run him down. Yeah, Funnick. 1, 2, 3 more hits.
A lot of armor.
There's good open wounds in 1 second. He's dead.
There we go. Should be an easy kill for Jo. And there we go. So EG get their second kill of the game. And once again, it's coming out of these support rotations, fiercing up both these two kills in some ways.
And MSS already actually not the highest level, but he'll hit 6 soon. And I think the bigger thing is the Universe is close to 6. And this is a lineup that, as soon as Bounty Hunter gets track, and ideally once Fear has Vendetta after that, they just go start picking off Na'Vi. Lots of heroes that are vulnerable to those ganks. Earthshaker, Wisp, even a Juggernaut is vulnerable to a Vendetta gank if he doesn't get off Blade Fury in time.
So, EG, they're starting to get these levels. I feel like, their lineup hasn't even really reached its true peak yet. They're getting a nice early game start with a lineup which peaks around that sort of 10-minute mark when they get the Bounty level 6, when they saw the Mid-Troll Warlord has Battle Trance as well as maybe just some phase boots up, and your Lifestealer has levels as well as his maybe early phase drums.
Kuroki using Blade Fury just to push the tower, but Universe continuing to happily collect experience under that tower. And you got to wonder for Na'Vi, where does their plan... bottom lane, onto Funnick once again. Battle Trance is there, and Jayo going to work. The Timber Chew is actually short, but the TP from Puppey turns it around. These orbs are going to hurt, and Fear's going to tank some of them. They split them neatly between both of them, and in the end, it keeps them both alive.
Okay, so I think if maybe the TP comes a bit earlier, we see Timbersaw turn around, but he was actually out of mana there. Puppey going to just leak some experience, get himself level 5, close to that level 6, so... Still not bad for Na'Vi, keeping this Timbersaw alive. He's sort of soaked up a lot of time and pressure from EG. Even though he's died once here, I feel Funnick hitting level 6 at this stage of the game is a pretty good play from the offlane Timbersaw.
And it is hurting slightly the Lifestealer's farm, that they're constantly diving him a tower. He's missing some last hits to go for these kills, and, well, it is putting your Juggernaut for Kuroki. 43 CS, 8 minutes in.
Yep.
He's your lead farmer. Gone for the phase boots, so the question is, does he go for anything more early game oriented? And already a Bracer and a Magic Wand. Na'Vi looking to keep the pressure. I'm not looking to go for that super passive farming style Juggernaut.
And he's a good 10 plus CS ahead of Jayo. Jayo, I mean, has been looking to dive towers, go for some kills here and there. As well as gets forced out of the lane. He actually just came back from the fountain. So we see level 6 on the Timbersaw, and he's just going to look to harass down Jayo as much as possible whenever he can.
Yeah, Denny has phase boots now mid lane, so despite that unfortunate start, he's caught up nicely.
Yeah, he's actually 19 denies on 10. That is brutal.
Yeah, I mean, still your MSS is getting good levels at the end of the day. Do you know how I think if he's in range form, he gets more or less experience than if he's melee. But you can just go melee when you see a creep about to be denied.
Yeah. So. You can just toggle for day. If you know you're not going to get it with your ranged attack, well, you shoot your ranged attack and then you go to melee form. So whether you get it or not, you can make sure you don't get denied too much.
Well, so as a result, we see him not struggling too much for levels. But now top lane, they're looking at Universe. Blade Fury to clear the creep wave. There is a potential no TP on your Nyx. There is a TP on the Witch Doctor. And
Sentry gets dropped. Oh, Fissure Demon.
Unfortunate.
That Fissure lands.
There's an Omni Slash. That's a kill.
Omni Slash and Wisp had dust as well. So I mean, Bounty Hunter looks to run away out of range, but I think that would have been a kill. Demon just a bit off the mark.
Well, nonetheless, they get the first tower of the game, and on the back of that, they can go back to pulling. They have a huge stack here for Puppey. Who'll get off the pull, too, so nicely timed there. And well, then Relocate comes online, and then we should see this Juggernaut Wisp combination get active on the map, start looking for pickoff. They don't want to sit back and play this one too passively. If you slow roll this too much, then you're looking at EG getting up some BKBs on MSS in the mid game. Even the Lifestealer just getting his armlet and drums, and they don't really have a great answer for that. Not with Dendy having this slow of a start.
Yeah, Denny, he's still recovered fairly decently, hitting level 8, having phase boots and 1,300 gold. He can go for the mech for his team if he wants, or just go straight into something like an Agonist set. Because Ags against melee heroes is going to really give a nice little boost with that ulti of his.
Yeah, I think you got to skip the mech this game. You already have Wisp and Earthshaker. Somebody should be building the mech, or even just an Urn. And they need like a true dual 4 lineup, I think. Yeah. You're up against Track, you're up against a Lifestealer and a Troll who are a stronger carry combo anyway. So.
The mech is always nice because of all the physical damage. You want the plus armor from a Buckler, but it's funny another hero could go for the mech on the Timbersaw after something like that, because he's not farming the Bloodstone. And EG going to get their first tower of the game, so both teams getting their tier 1 safe tower down, and we're looking at Na'Vi rotating Kuroki, and he comes through the jungle here, and there's actually not much EG vision. There's one near the middle lane, but apart from that, so far it looks like Kuroki has not been spotted. He's got phase and drums, as well as a level 6 ulti.
Yeah, EG, their supports, well, mainly Fear, level 4. I feel you'd rather see the Witch Doctor be level 4 and give that level 6 to Fear, but he's spending a lot of time roaming around, trying to slow down Dendy mid, which is part of why Denny hasn't had that explosive start, and we'll see if that costs them at all here. Kuroki in the jungle, Courier flying through.
This guy loves Berserk kills. This is even like back when he used to play carry in the Dota 1 days. He was one of those carry players who would farm heroes, not creeps.
Yeah, which it's not really the most effective style generally. Oh, he could Omni Slash this, I believe. No, just gonna right click down the Courier. Ooh,
so close. Can you Omni Slash couriers or not?
I think you can.
I have no idea how that works.
I'm pretty sure you can.
I'm not asking in doubt. I'm just asking because I have not a single idea.
I've never
where
done
that
it,
would
but
work.
I wouldn't see any reason why you can't. So maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, because you can omnislash stuff like ancients and whatnot. I
Yeah,
guess
you can use
can't-
Omnislash